If you hear my voice, clap once. If you hear my voice, clap twice. All right, if you have a computer, I'm going to trust that while I'm talking, you are listening, so I'm not going to have to answer myself or repeat myself several times. Go ahead, Tommy. I am recording this and will then post this to Google Classroom so that you can hear all of this over again later on when you have questions. So if you have a question, just raise your hand so I can address it. So, number one, when the handout that you have in front of you, it says, decide and sketch what your GeoBot will be. Now, this is where you can use artificial intelligence to generate some ideas. So, for your prompt, what you are going to type in ChatGPT or in Bing or in any other AI generator is the following. It has to start with, or I would start with, the first sentence is, act as an engineer. An engineer is a person or that's going to come up with whatever. Right? So act as an engineer. I'd like you to generate a robot made of geometric figures. That's what GeoBot stands for. Geometric robot. Let me finish it. Okay? Act as an engineer. I want you to generate or create a robot made of geometric shapes. The purpose of the robot should be, and this is where you are then going to state, hey, what is the purpose? So if you are a person who enjoys music, great, but there's so much you can do with music. Are you creating music? Do you want it to write lyrics to a song? Do you want that music to be for a movie? Do you want that music to be for children? Do you want that music to be for babies? Whatever. So you are then going to ask the artificial intelligence to generate this robot that has the purpose of blah, blah, blah. Those first three sentences are going to be able to give you sort of like a skeleton of what you can then go off and tell the AI, I would like you to refine this, and then tell it, hey, I like this part, but not so much this. So if it gives you these different shapes, then you can say, hey, yes, I'd like you to keep this, but I'd like you to change that. Right? Number two, when you are looking at the worksheet, it says, what links did you search on YouTube? If it's not YouTube, if you're using ChatGPT, if you're using Bing, if you're using AI, whatever your resources are, just list what those resources are. Okay? Go ahead and turn the page. Decide a first draft sketch of what your GeoBot will be. This is just a rough idea. This is just to get you started so that, hey, when you start to tell your AI or if you start to create your GeoBot, you have something to work off of. And you can then save or look back at what you have already done so that you're not always starting from zero. This is just a draft. It does not have to be the exact of what you are creating. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, it's not the exact of what it's going to be. Next. What materials do you plan on using to construct? This could be a cereal box, which is very thin cardboard. It could be the Amazon boxes, which is a bit thicker. There was a kiddo who was saying clay. There was a kiddo who was saying, hey, I'd like to build it out of wood. I have some PVC pipes. Whatever those are, great. Just list that so you know what materials you're going to need in order to create. Go ahead and flip. What will be the purpose of your GeoBot? What will it do? Does your GeoBot actually have to do the thing that you are saying that it's going to do? No. However, if you are that kiddo who's like, hey, I know how to do this, I would like my GeoBot to sing, I would like my GeoBot to play music, I would like, great. If you know that that's what you'd like it to do and you can do it, that's fantastic, but it's not required. Next, how will you look to advertise your GeoBot so you receive the most votes? You and your teammates, because you will be presenting this the week of the 29th to your classmates, there will be a voting as to, hey, which of all the GeoBots that are represented gets the most votes as like you think this is the best. So how will you look to do that? Are you going to create music? Are you going to create sort of Google slide presentation? Is there going to be sort of like a commercial? Whatever it is that you're deciding to do to hype it up, that's what you would start to write here. And then last but not least, some kiddos were asking the question, how big does it have to be? The minimum is 1.5 feet, which is 18 inches. The maximum is 5 feet. Most of you are 5 feet or less. Your GeoBot should be bigger than you. I do not want to see kiddos carrying ginormous robots throughout this last week of May, right before we go away for summer break, right? So don't go OD. Some kiddos like to really, really go overboard with it. You do not need to do that. Now, I know some of us are already engineers and can create great things. You don't need to go super overboard because I know that we don't have a lot of time for that. Okay? Question, sir. Say what?
Okay. Yeah, because you should be old enough. Yeah. So I'm always to do that.
I was thinking of it. Yeah,
I did 1999.
Or 2004 was my brother's 18.
Dude, call your in.
Question, say.
Call your in.
Oh, actually, no, I didn't.
If you hear my voice, clap once. If you hear my voice, clap twice. Kiddos, now is the time to ask questions because you're not going to be able to ask those questions later over the weekend and tomorrow because you will be up at knots. So I love the excitement. If there is a hiccup where you've given your correct age, go to a different site. Use a different AI. There's not only one. And as another kiddo said, hey, if we're all going to the same site, giving the same prompt, we're going to get similar results. So try to vary how you are prompting the AI. Question, Sage?
When you use ChatGPT and put act as an engineer, it says an as an AI language model, I don't have a physical body, so I cannot act as an engineer in the traditional sense. However, I can certainly.
So you know how to switch that. So it's not just, I hear the reason why I cut you off, I apologize. Is because you don't want to just state what you stop it. You want to say, act as an engineer, period. For you to generate a robot and EMS shapes, period. So you want to do that one information at once so that you know what it's doing. Does that make sense? Any other questions? You can also use YouTube, type in GeoBots, and you will find other robots that have been created in the past. Question, Lizzie?
This gives you 20 points extra credit.
If you do it correctly, yes.
What?
The rubric is also in your Google Classroom. So go to Google Classroom, go to Monday of this week, which was May 8th. You will see the rubric there as well. Any other questions? Going once, any other questions? Going twice, any other questions? All right, I'm going to put the timer on the board. You can go to work.